Good morning, YouTube, from Ghost Town, USA, aka Boondoggle headquarters, downtown Dayton, Ohio. And recently, where I'm at right now, which I did about 4 or 5 videos of this before, this is what they call this development, the Fire Block District, if it ever is successful, which I have my doubts if it's going to be. There was an article in the local newspaper this past week about the developer is apparently struggling to find money because they said, the scope of the development, is much greater than they thought. I'm like, duh. And this whole block is almost completely abandoned. There's only maybe 4 or 5 businesses out of potentially 16 spaces. Plus it's the same rah-rah crap, over and over again. All, office space, apartments, retail, restaurants, when there's already tons of vacancies already all throughout downtown. But yet these dumbasses seem to think they need more. And of course, these developers, as well as the city, is scamming the taxpayers out of money with these so-called historic tax credits and whatever else they can siphon out of the taxpayers for their developments. Because of course our mayor and of course other city leaders, they can't stand the fact that this downtown Dayton is a complete dead zone. Because you could see the traffic pattern right now, Sunday morning. Hardly any cars at all in sight. So they can keep talking. Yeah, look at this right here, just how empty the streets are. And this part of downtown is probably the worst area to try and develop, because mainly the RTA bus hub right over there and the new library, both of them attract vagrants and people that are homeless. Not that I'm against homeless people, because I'm not, and other bums. So do people really want to live live down here and open a business in a place that's going to be just bombarded with unruly youth, bums, and homeless people? I honestly don't think so. And why these buildings why they are historical is beyond me. I don't see anything historical about these buildings at all. Only thing that they could be historic because they survived the 1913 flood in Dayton 104 years ago. But it's kind of interesting too that the developer says, the article mentioned, several, construction deadlines or several hopes of what they thought were things that they hoped they would have accomplished by now. But it's not going to happen though. And plus the developer, which I will provide a link to the article that the newspaper did, he said, well, I need to buy up all these spaces so it doesn't hurt my development. Well, to me, your development is a big bust. It's either you have the money or you don't have the money. And we really need to stop. There's one of the buildings, the Lebensberger Davis building, all part of this over here. So he says, oh, I need to buy up all the buildings so it doesn't hurt my development. And they said this development is going to be in excess of $100 billion. And whether or not he's going to find all the money or not, I don't know. But the fact that they have to use taxpayer money just proves that there is no demand. Because if there was actual demand for all this crap, private dollars would fund all this, and plus all this crap would have been built long by now. For the last I'm going to say for at least the last 6 or 7 years, there's been a story in the paper about this particular block for the last, but it's about every 2 years. So, you know, you have all these, you know, boondoggle developments, and recently the Dayton Arcade recently came back into the story, you know, and into the headlines. The local media, they are really hyping that up. They're thinking they could finally get something off the ground as far as that goes and develop one of the buildings in the arcade into apartments. So again, if you're going to build more apartments, you're just already going to hurt the apartments and the other developments that are down here, because there's still plenty of apartments and retail that they've managed to redo that is still vacant. Heck, I mean, just right around the corner from me on the other side, which I've walked over there before in other videos I've done of this area. There still is retail vacancies over there, like there is all throughout here. So, you know, but it's time that we start, you know, calling out that all these developments that are scams. You know, if they're going to have developments, it needs to be developments that are actually ones that we can actually sustain and support. We just don't have the residents and the jobs here that's capable of supporting it. You know, plus the old builder and they will come, you know, slogan is just not really applicable here in this situation, and all this corporate welfare and taxpayer theft needs to stop, because that's basically what this downtown Dayton has turned into, is America's corporate welfare whore, you know, and America's corporate welfare whore and America's taxpayer theft whore. And, you know, even if by some chance they ever could turn this downtown into this thriving downtown that they really want, it still doesn't change the fact that our schools were rated the #1 worst schools in the public state in the state amongst major cities. It still doesn't change the fact that 2 years in a row that we are the opiate and heroin capital of the U.S. That's right, 2 years in a row, which I actually did a video about that yesterday, and I'm hoping to upload this video later today. It's Sunday, you know, by the way. But even if they ever turn this around, it's not going to help the actual neighborhoods. And of course, you know, personally, I think, you know, they're just trying to pander to the gay crowd that they always talk about, because our mayor, you know, pushes, you know, all this, you know, gay-friendly agenda and all this other bullshit and all this other stupidity. So I think she hopes that she can expand the gay district, which is the gay bar district, which is right around the corner from where I'm pointing at. Probably hoping they can get some more of their bars in here. But then again, even if they do, it has the potential to hurt the already gay bars that are down here. But to me, the city just needs to get their shit together. Stop focusing on stupid developments that are not realistic, and stop throwing taxpayer money at this crap, because it's not, you know, working. And, you know, it's very easy to get brainwashed by the local media and the hype machine and all the hype that surrounds us. But when you come around downtown Dayton like I do every day, which I commute through here every day on the bus and to do things and vice versa, you know, you see the real downtown. You see all the empty buildings, you see the vagrantness, you see the homelessness and all the other problems. Those that only come down here all for a little entertainment in the Oregon District or at Fifth Third Field or Schuster Center, they don't see the real downtown like I do. And that's a major point why I make these videos, is so people can see the real downtown. I mean, and of course a lot of the liberals, I mean, really want to see this take off for development, even though it really doesn't benefit them. So, you know, it's very easy to get brainwashed by all this fluff and all this other waste that is happening down here. But then again, look at the traffic pattern. There is just hardly anybody down here. But that's going to be it for this one. You know, from America's corporate welfare core and taxpayer development and taxpayer theft whore, downtown Dayton, Ohio.